A year ago, nearly to the day, the Bharatiya Janata Party returned to power in Tripura. Now, sure, leading up to the elections, several opposition parties tried to portray themselves as frontrunners, but when the results finally came, it was hardly a surprise for anyone. Sure, the BJP did not beat its 2018 record, but it comfortably crossed the majority mark in the 60-member assembly. But within hours of the BJP victory, it became clear that unlike 2018, this tenure would hardly be a cakewalk for the saffron giants. The reason? Unlike last time, this time the indigenous community of Tripura had a strong voice backing them, and it was not going to be hand in glove with the BJP. The TIPRA Motha, which until 2019 did not even exist as a social outfit, let alone a political outfit, had rode with 13 of the 60 seats, and unlike the IPFT, which had been reduced to just one seat, the TIPRA Motha was going to be much more aggressive in its demands. And it has lived up to its promise. As we record this, the top leadership of TIPRA Motha is on a fast unto death, hoping to not only get the centre's attention but also get their problems addressed once and for all. It is fair to say that as of today, the problems that indigenous people face are at all levels, right? From, well, choosing the script of your own language to constitutional power, there is little cause for the state's indigenous population to celebrate. In this week's Decoded, we try to explain what is happening in Tripura and why the centre must pay more attention to the demands of TIPRA Motha, because not doing so can push the state into an unjust future. Pursuing for months.
To a village of Assam.
In the 75th Independence Day.
If you know a little about Tripura, you will probably think that Bengali is the state's lingua franca, and you would be partially right. In the past 3 decades, there have been 4 chief ministers: Dasharat Deb, Manik Sarkar, Biplab Deb and Manik Saha, all Bengalis of course. But officially, the state has 2 languages, Bengali and the lesser known Kokborok. Kokborok, like several other indigenous languages in the region, does not have a script. The word Kokborok translates to the languages spoken by the people of the land, where Kok stands for verbal sound or language and Borok means the son of the soil. 7 dominant tribal communities including Tripuri, Chematia, Koloi, Riang, Murasing, Rupini and others speak Kokborok. The history of Kokborok dates back 6,000 years, and experts describe it as an offshoot of the Tibetan Shino family of languages. In the northeast, indigenous languages like Garo and Boro belong to the same family. Now, let me make one thing clear. Unlike other indigenous languages, however, Kokborok is not threatened. It was recognized as a state language as early as 1979. It had about 9 lakh speakers according to the 2011 census, which is about 1/4 of Tripura's population. But while these numbers indicate a relatively healthy and flourishing language, the script is a different matter altogether. One can easily blame it on politics and a lack of will from the elected executives who have ruled the state for a long time. But is it so simple? While one may say the majority's view has always been ignored, one could easily argue that a solution agreeable to all may not even exist. The first generation of Kokborok speaking youth studied in schools where Bengali was the primary language. Naturally, when they started thinking of giving the language a written form, they used the Bengali script instinctively. Leaders like former Chief Minister Dasharat Deb and Aghor Deb Burma, who have worked extensively to spread the light of education in hilly areas, ardently supported the Bengali script. On the other hand, people who were well aware of the linguistic roots of the language and equally sympathetic towards giving their language a new shape regrouped to challenge the popular view of Bengali script. The counter-argument was that Kokborok, by its nature, should be written in the Roman script. They felt the Roman script was the only solution to the phonological problems associated with writing Kokborok in a Bengali script. They also argued that the technical evolution of both Bengali and Kokborok are different, hence they can't be brought together for the composition of the language. But the conflict saw no end. And if we look across the northeast, there are few who would advocate that Roman script is not ideal for the indigenous languages. But as we can see, the problem is that the same government which advocates for Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas and Sabka Vishwas acts like there are no problems in the states they rule. There are literally no takers for the Bengali script for Kokborok. Yet, the government is convinced that the Bengali script for Kokborok has a future. According to an RTI reply, it has been learned that till 2021, a total of 6,687 students took Kokborok as an elective subjects in 22 government degree colleges across the state. Among them, only 3 students wrote their answers in scripts in Bengali. The rest answered their papers in the Roman script. At the university level, 356 people have so far completed their masters in Kokborok, including 2 non-tribal students. Not a single answer sheet was written in Bengali. If this is not a case of non-indigenous people telling indigenous people what to do, what is? And oh, before someone begins arguing that this is just typical of opposition parties that seek to destabilize ruling parties, remember this. In 1967, the Tripura Upajati Juba Samiti demanded official recognition for the Kokborok language and autonomous tribal councils. So no, this is not a demand for the heck of it. This is a decades-old demand that has found a new lease of life under the TIPRA Motha. If you have kept an eye on TIPRA Motha post the state elections, you would have noticed that nearly every month, someone from the party, mostly Pradyut, heads to Delhi to meet MHA officials with a list of demands. Now, granted, the meetings have not resulted in much, else we would not have been in the present situation. But nevertheless, it shows that the party is at least trying and the centre is at least listening, sort of. But what are the demands, you ask? Land rights. According to TIPRA Motha, despite over 70% of the state land being under the TTAADC or the tribal society in Tripura does not enjoy land rights. Now, by land rights, we mean land allotment and distribution according to paragraph 3 of the 6th schedule. Even though the constitution permits it, the TTAADC does not get to enjoy that power. The ADC has already passed a bill and sent it for the governor's assent. In all other ADCs, land allotment and distribution are allowed, but in TTAADC, no. Why? Because, well, the state government does not want to. Direct funding. The TTAADC gets funds from the state government. One of the core demands is to ensure that funds are directly transferred from the central government. The ADC has claimed that the state government is not approving the budget. But why? Some believe that doing this could give TIPRA Motha an upper hand. After all, they control the TTADC, and if they bypass the state government, it will become very difficult for the BJP to win the autonomous council elections. So why help your adversary? Cultural safeguard. Several bills are pending approval of the governor that are related to the customary laws of the tribal societies. These bills are directly associated with the social hierarchy of the tribal society. Once again, the state government has either not done enough to show their commitment to approving these bills, or they have not communicated effectively enough with the people to assure them that they will address them. Either way, the state government, at least in these matters, has not managed to convince the locals. From conspiracy theorists to mainstream academics, there are few, if any, who believe that illegal immigration does not pose a threat to the Northeast. From smuggling to demographic changes to ecological destruction to even traffic jams, the Northeast is convinced that illegal immigration is an issue. States that have ILP want NRC, and states that do not have ILP want ILP. The only state that has an NRC, well, the state government wants to do it again because it did not like the findings of the NRC 1.0. And then there is Tripura. The Tripura Chief Minister wants you to believe that Rohingyas pose a threat to Tripura. But dare he say a word about the demographic change in Tripura? How did the Bengali population, which, let us not forget, was welcomed by the kings of Tripura, become such a large majority, so much so that the entire state bureaucracy is under their control? If illegal immigration is an issue in the northeast, then why is Tripura not mentioned when talking about, say, Assam? We all know the answer, so let's not kid ourselves. In Tripura, the Bengali Hindus form the majority. In fact, Muslims, who are also immigrants, of course, form less than 9% of the population. So, if we were to discuss the issue of illegal immigration to Tripura like we do in Assam, we would see that most immigrants in Tripuras are Hindus, which explains why the BJP is as silent as a mouse in a library whenever demands for NRC in Tripura are raised. But let us not kid ourselves. The Bengali population of Tripura controls the state elections, so it is not as if the Congress, the CPIM or any other non-tribal party will ever raise the demands for NRC in Tripura. I mean, they control 40 of the 60 seats in the assembly. Only TIPRA can raise such a demand. The tribals of Tripura understand the pains of other communities. Look at how Brus were not only allowed to live in Tripura following the 1997 clash between Mizos and Brus, they are now residents of Tripura and have voting rights here. What they are simply asking for is to be recognized for who they are, the indigenous population of the state protected by the Indian Constitution. No one is asking for Bengalis to be expelled en masse. The demand is simply to be treated as equals. And for now, as TIPRA Motha protests, the path to be treated as equals looks like a long and tough road.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to EastMojo. For any queries, put them down in the comments section below and press on the bell icon for notifications.